Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play.
Hello wonderful people, welcome back again to Anointed Lady TV, the home of news and politics. And we drop news every day, and we also react to every videos that comes our way. If it is your first time in this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning subscribers, we appreciate you for your massive support, and we say may God richly bless you all for supporting this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please kindly smash on the subscribe button, put on the bell so you get to know anytime we drop a new video. I have a video to present to you this very moment, and I will be watching that video with you. And after watching, let's drop our opinion constructively at the comment section, like our videos, and also share our videos if possible. Bye for now.
Edo is the only state in Nigeria today without a functional legislature. What is happening with the 10 PDP jokers who gather regularly at Governor Obasanjo's office is comical. They gather to read sheets of papers, pretending to be making laws as Edo State House of Assembly. We all know the true story. What Obasanjo is practicing in Edo today is a democratic taboo. And when a taboo is allowed to exist for too long, it becomes a tradition. If this taboo is allowed to be exported to other states, using Obasanjo as a reference, it will endanger our democratic culture. Edo State is in a serious trouble. We therefore call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a matter of urgent national importance, to declare a state of emergency in Edo so that we can truly have a proper sole administrator. As we speak now, Mr. Obasanjo is demolishing the central hospital of Benin City with a view to replacing it with a motor park. The government says it has no plan for such demolitions 2 months ago. But if you go to Sèŕìøùśly Road by the hospital this minute, you will see what I'm talking about. We know the demolition is imminent, and we call on Mr. Obasanjo to stop or be ready for the consequences. There are several other reasons why a state of emergency in Edo is inevitable. Right now, Obasanjo can no longer secure lives and properties of Edo citizens, contrary to his oath of office. He has mortgaged the future of Edo State with a penchant from clandestine borrowing of billions of naira at home and abroad. He has no regard for rule of law and completely disregards all court orders except those in his favor. You will agree that the situation in Edo has found itself today is one where a single individual, Mr. Obasanjo, though democratically elected, has turned himself into a maximum ruler and has recruited to himself the powers of the 3 arms of government. Many people in Edo are worried with the approach of Obasanjo to the lingering slide of governance and brutal abuse of the constitution. It is in the light of the precarious situation Edo State has found itself under Governor Obasanjo, which is almost akin to anarchy, that the All Progressive Congress, APC, is calling on the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Edo. Our call is predicated on the fact that Mr. Obasanjo would rather prefer to be a sole administrator of Edo State rather than a democratically elected governor. With a state of emergency, his present disposition towards governance will be legitimized. He would not need a legislature, cabinet, or even local government chairman to function. Insecurity. First, let me tell you that as governor, Mr. Obasanjo, who claimed he spent $2 billion on a security trust fund a few months ago, has so far been unable to protect the lives of Edo people, with daily cases of kidnappings and killings on the Benin-Ahọ-Auchi road. Fear and insecurity have become the order of the day in Edo, yet he gets 800 million naira monthly as security vote. For such an amount, he is still unable to mobilize security agencies in the state to fight criminality. Even the volunteer local neighborhood watch or state vigilante corps are not left out. In all cases, they are totally disenchanted, being poorly mobilized. Loans. Mr. Obaseki has perfected the art of taking clandestine loans from every available source without any plan to repay them and thereby mortgaging the future of Edo State. So soon after he took the 25 billion loan recently to finance the 2021 budget from the capital market, he went for another 18 billion loan from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The state's indebtedness has just elevated it to the second most indebted state in the country. Edo State government, under Mr. Obaseki, now specializes in giving vague and nebulous rationale when taking these loans. Yet, there are critical sectors of the local economy into which these loans ought to be channeled. That Edo people are tired of many white elephant projects, which Mr. Obaseki has adopted as a conduit pipe to drain public funds, is a cause for concern. Without a legislature, Edo people are in dark about what are the loans being collected for. There is no due process, and unborn Edo children are assured of spending eternity repaying these loans. The rule of law. Edo State has a governor who does not have an iota of respect for the judicial arm of government, although he regularly runs to court on the most frivolous excuses. He chooses which order to obey and disregard the rest, even when they are in the overall interest of Edo people. Mr. Obaseki paid deaf ears to several court orders, restoring elected local government councils who he violently removed from their offices. Individual homes and private properties are being demolished, and the sea of O's of prominent Edo indigents perceived as political adversaries are being revoked. As you are aware, Governor Obaseki spent all the days of his first year of his second term in office playing politics and neglecting governance. To date, he has not been able to form and appoint a full cabinet. Today, he is ignorant of the fact that no single traffic light is functional anywhere in the state. No street light anywhere. The King Square that used to be relaxation center for youth on weekends with a beautiful water fountain is now a natural habitat for rodents and reptiles. Mr. Obaseki and his PDP administration has taken Edo back to the 18th century. Where did we get it wrong? Here is a governor whose stock in trade, 5 years in office, is either signing or entry into MOUs, partnership and agreement with individuals and organizations, foreign and local. It is a government of MOU, by MOU and for MOU. For a man leaving office in 3 years, Mr. Obaseki recently proposed a 30-year development plan for the state. Yet, by 2050, many would have forgotten if he ever was the governor in Benin City. His MOU yielded the stillborn industrial park that he brought the vice president of this country, Mr. Sèériøùśly, to commission 5 years ago. With a spurious claim of securing a $200 million investment for the park, today it is a haven of wild animals. The only sign of the park is the giant dilapidating billboard announcing the governor's short-sightedness. There is no single industrial location, and there is no sign that any will come soon to this calm of a multi-billion naira monument by the Obaseki-led PDP government. What of the Gele port? The hue and cry and the media hype that greeted the MOU the governor entered into with the Chinese, Singaporean, and Indian interests on TV and social media, and his resort to frequent monitoring of virtual vessels coming to berth at the non-existent port has since died down. Need I mention that the Ekenwa Road, which the governor said he was dualizing because of the expected boost in vehicular traffic from the seaport to the city center, has in itself become an abandoned project. The Benin Technical College cost Edo taxpayers billions of naira to renovate. It is only the governor who knows when the college will be ready to take the first batch of students. Or is it the governor's Edo Best program, which is at best a small screen to cover up the failure of the government's education policy? There are no teachers in public schools across the state. There is no school with full complement of teachers, At best, you see a principal and 2 teachers for a school of 200 pupils. Yet, Mr. Obaseki boasts about spending billions by the grace of World Bank to give mobile devices to teachers to teach. Many communities employ teachers all over the state. Gentlemen of the press, the only public library in Edo State where children of ordinary Edo men and women go to read to develop themselves has been demolished, and the land sold to Obaseki's cronies to build a supermarket. Did we commit any offense before God? There are no workers in Edo State civil service. Yet, the governor makes monthly mountain of paying salaries as and when due. It is disappointing that rather than employing qualified personnel to fill the thousands of vacant spaces in the public service, including the health sector and the many public schools across the state, the governor, whose hallmark is the misplacement of priorities, choose to completely waste Edo people's resources in the name of harmonizing his destabilized party, the PDP, by giving meaningless appointments to political jobbers, sycophants, and opportunists. Major roles in Benin City, the Edo State capital, are in different states of ferment, dilapidation, and are forsaken by Mr. Obaseki, who annually and fictitiously budget billions to build roads and bridges or control floods and erosions. This explains our query of the 2022 budget, which on a closer look is completely unrealistic, as it is duplicitously embellished with impractical predications. The budget proposal actually shows how Godwin Obaseki wastes Edo's state fund on frivolities. Commuters and motorists daily groan from damage done to their vehicles from these bad roads. A state government that can barely patch an earth road cannot be expected to fix a state, not to talk of federal roads crisscrossing its territories. Mr. Obaseki once threatened to probe the Benin Water Storm project. The governor, while inspecting the textile mill catchment of the project in Benin City, said the project was designed to work for the benefit of the Edo people, adding that his administration will probe the project and recover all the stolen funds through it. Yet, the secretary to the state government, Barrister Sèériøùśly, who was in charge of the work ministry, was deeply involved in the project. And while the project was ongoing, Mr. Obaseki, as the then chairman of the economic team, played the key role of sourcing the first 25 billion from the capital market through his company, AfriInvest. AfriInvest pocketed a huge amount of money as commission from the deal. The APC asked him to start the probe, but he caved in. Mr. Obaseki recently claimed that he spent the last 5 years as state governor laying the foundation for development of Edo State. But as a party, we have looked everywhere and we cannot find any of such foundation stones. All claims of a vibrant sector-led economy, which has benefited from wide-ranging government reforms and programs, informed by insights, learning, and intelligence, garnered from this sustained and evolving exchange with the private sector by Mr. Obaseki, are all scams. Gentlemen of the press, it should be noted that the state of emergency in Edo will have a multiplier effect on the various apparatus of government in such sectors like civil service, health, education, and security of lives and property, among several others, which are presently in their need of leavening. We in the APC also believe that the state of emergency in Edo will be a proactive step to flatten the curve of bad governance the state is now suffering. Thank you, and God bless you all.
I think the chairman deserves a louder round of applause. PDP government led by Obaseki is a scam. We can ask our questions now. Just introduce yourself, your media, and then you ask your question. So I think they can use their natural voice. Try and shout. If you want water, we can give you. Who is firing question? Yes, please, introduction.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Sèŕìøùśly. I write for the Nigerian Tribune.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've listened to the litany of woes that you reeled out concerning this government. But I'm only worried about your call for state of emergency. As a Democrat, don't you consider that call as anathema to democracy? If, for instance, you are saying as an elected governor, Governor Obaseki, quote and unquote, is this dictatorial? When you now have a state of emergency getting its sole administrator, what do you think will happen?
Thank you very much. State of emergency is in our constitution. 1999 continuous amended has a provision for state of emergency. Yeah. It has happened before, and this is not the first time we are calling for it. It happened in Plateau, it happened in Ekiti, under the current democratic dispensation. So our call is not anti-democratic. It's in line with the country's constitution.
Yes. So if I may follow up, sir, will you consider the present condition in Edo State to what happened in Plateau and in Ekiti State?
In fact, this is worse.
Next question. No, I have a question.
10 members.
You see, gentlemen of the press, the constitution of this country is very clear on the number of people that should constitute a House of Assembly. Minimum 20, maximum 40. As journalists, will you say that we have a state House of Assembly in Edo? Without a state House of Assembly, without a legislature, how do you checkmate the executive? So this type of dictatorship is not envisaged in our constitution. You have a maximum ruler. I think you will be helping this country, helping Edo people, by doing real investigative journalism to see how we can rescue Edo from imminent collapse. Because power without control is very dangerous. Best.
Yes, sir. My name is Breakin. The issue of the Edo State House of Assembly is what I want to ask. Because I understand that the 14 members who were not sworn in approached the court. And if you are saying that Edo is now being run as if it were not a democratic system of government, don't you think that waiting for the outcome of the court to solve that problem, that's number one? Then number two, recently we also learned that the 14 members also approached the ICPC. So what were you expecting Mr. Governor to do? To allow the 10 others to sit at home and then wait for the outcome of the judiciary, or don't people will patiently wait for the outcome of the judiciary?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. When I say Edo State judiciary has been emasculated, I'm sure you know what I mean. The case taken to Edo State High Court over the last 1.5 years has gone through 8 courts. It's not in the 8th court. It's a desperate and conscious effort to ensure that the case is never heard. This is the 8th judge that is handling the case now. And every case will start afresh. Every judge will start afresh. That is how far Obaseki has destroyed the Edo judiciary. We cannot wait endlessly for a court we know we cannot get justice from.
That's all.
Yeah, done. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I want to appreciate you guys for showing up. I'm sure this is the last time we are meeting this year. Bearing any other thing happening between today and tomorrow. If any other thing happens, we'll call you at midnight on the 31st. So you will come here. But thank you for coming. On behalf of the chairman, I thank all of you for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. You people will see Ofure.
What you say is PDP.
We can give you Ofure.
Yes. Good morning to you, all my conscious Edo people. As you can rightly see from the horse's mouth, is the Edo State APC chairman giving you a state of the state press briefing. And just this hour, we are just aware that the governor has borrowed 25 billion. The governor has borrowed 18 billion. And all these borrowings are not in the public domain. So I believe some of you at this juncture will begin to understand why some of us on the social media space have been clamoring that those persons who represent the interests of the government of the day on the social media should come out to tell other people how our monies are being managed. As at today, for the first time, we are getting to know that 25 billion naira has been borrowed from the capital market. 18 billion naira has also been borrowed from the capital market. Now the question to ask is, where are all this investment going into? Where are all this investment going into? Is it the Gelegele Seaport? It is still under construction or not even near construction. Where is the industrial park? The only thing you see there is the signboard carrying Obaseki's face. Where is the Mountain Estate? It is still under construction. Where is the Edo Best program? It is nowhere to spread across the look and crannies of Edo State. Where is our health sector today? We are being faced with demolition at the Edo Central Hospital. The only meaningful thing that we are seeing the governor doing is putting street lights, and at the detriment of the cost of wastage. Now, let me explain to you what the governor is doing is removing previous street lights and is replacing it with new ones, as if those ones were bad before. Those street lights were built by Adams Oshomole. They were in working condition, but only for us to be seen in recent times that the governor is resurfacing those street lights with new ones, rather than even change the globes where the globes were still working. So my conscious Edo people, the question still asks, how prudent is the government of Obaseki managing the resources of Edo people when we are, now the second most indebted state in Nigeria, and there is no direct investment to show? This remains, the issue that has made some of us within the past few days demand that those persons who galvanize force as influencers on the social media for the government of the day should come out and explain to Edo people. Edo people deserve the right to know if their money is being invested properly. And do not forget, our properties are being sold. You heard what the state chairman just said now, that those properties are sold to Obaseki's, business chronics, as the case may be. The question to ask, is that how the business of governance is being carried out in developing states? Is Wike selling the property of Rivers people to carry out projects in Rivers State? Is Ebonyi State governor selling the property of Ebonyi State people to carry out projects in that state? This will be the discussion rocking the floors for 2022, as the case may be. You have heard it. This is one of the last times that the APC will speak in this fiscal year, and we await to see more formidable opposition. And one thing again, the chairman also said that for the fact that people